I made thousands of dollars from my YouTube videos that got less than 100 or 200 views. In fact, I was making money from my YouTube content years before I had any real audience on the YouTube platform itself. When I uploaded my first YouTube video now 11 years ago, I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. I wasn't really trying to become a YouTuber. I just needed somewhere to host my videos for free. Now back then I had trouble writing content, but I could talk. And so because that was more natural for me, I'd record videos, I'd upload them to YouTube, and then I'd use them in my business in ways that most people using YouTube and or creators really don't consider at all. The crazy part is that these videos were making me money and growing my business, even when I had just like 1,500 subscribers. While everyone else was obsessing over views and subscriber growth, I was quietly using YouTube as a business asset in 13 specific ways. And it wasn't until really 7 years ago that I started taking YouTube seriously. 567 videos later, I've discovered that the platform is so much more valuable than most people realize. So today, I want to show you 13 ways I actually make money with my YouTube videos, strategies that work whether you have 100 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. So let's start with something I use every single day. After every sales call, I send prospects specific videos addressing questions that they had. This isn't just convenient, it's actually super strategic. My close rate increased by over 25% when I started doing this because it keeps me top of mind while also proving that I have solutions to the problems that we discussed. But what happens when prospects have specific objections? That's where method number 2 comes in. Number 2 is creating an objection handling library. I've categorized videos that address common objections that I've heard after being on sales calls. And so when someone says, I don't have time or it's too expensive, I immediately can look to my library of videos and send them a perfect video response. It's like having a 24/7 sales team that never gets tired. Here's where it gets interesting. Once you have this library, you can actually start using these videos before anyone even raises an objection, which leads me to the third way that I use my YouTube videos. That's pre-call homework. So before anyone gets on a call with me, I assign specific videos as homework. This actually pre-qualifies prospects, sets the agenda on my terms, and here's the best part. By the time we talk, they've already heard my answers to common concerns because I've sent them very specific videos to address those. Now, real quick, the key here is that you don't have, tons of content, 1 to 2 videos, probably like 15 to 20 minutes where you are setting them up for that sales call is where I would kind of cap it. Now, this pre-call strategy works with individual videos, but what if you could organize them strategically for different people? So that's actually method number 4. But before we get to number 4, real quick, if you want to use YouTube to grow your business, it's one of the key platforms that I've been using and we've been using with our collective members to get leads every single day and clients every single week. If you want to learn more how we can help you set up the YouTube client machine step by step and productize your service along the way, then check the description below. There's a link for details. All right, so way number 4 is what I call buyer journey playlists. I create custom playlists for different stages of the buyer journey. Someone just discovering my business can get a completely different playlist than someone who's, say, comparing options or ready to buy. So let's quickly look at some of these playlists. So here are some of the ones that I've been using. So obviously right now I'm doing my YouTube series. So if anyone's asking me about YouTube, I can clearly drop them to the YouTube for business owners. We also get people that are really early in their business. And so I put together 12 videos called Free Course Launch Plan for New Freelancers and Agency Owners. And I would send them to that. If people are asking tons of questions about being productized or things like that, I can send them to this playlist, which has 24 videos. And then if I'm really talking about monetizing expertise, I can always send them to this video where there's now 20 videos. We also have, all of our, client reviews in here that we have that people can check out, and they can, look at all the different reviews that people have submitted as it relates to working with us. But what if you're already talking to a potential client and you need to strengthen your pitch? That brings us to method number 5. This is enhancing your offer document or your offer presentation. So for me, I actually embed relevant video links within our offer documents to share that we have examples and answers to their questions, also to give them a taste of what our teaching style is like. And it's actually increased our acceptance rate of our offers by a little over 20%. It's one thing to explain your approach in writing. It's another to let them see you and hear you explain it personally. So think about as you send your proposal, or if there's any sort of leave behind materials that you're sending in between calls, how can you incorporate videos that you already have to help further emphasize the things that you spoke to that prospect about? Speaking of showcasing results, that leads to one of the most powerful strategies, case study compilations. As you start having more and more case study interviews or interviewing your most successful clients, you can edit together client success stories from various videos, creating one more powerful social proof video that you can really use anywhere. But here's actually what I think most people miss. This doesn't actually need to be a formal testimonial video. You can compile snippets from webinars, interviews, or even casual mentions inside of one video. Now, once you have all of these assets, you need to put them in front of your audience, which is where method 7 actually becomes crucial. Number 7 is to actually email your list your videos. Like I said, I got started using YouTube as free hosting, and my core email that I sent every week was just emailing them a little description to then go watch the video on YouTube. So if you're emailing your list, which by the way, you should be, at least one email a week could be sending, the most recent video that you just uploaded to your channel with some context and leading them into watching that video. Now, if you're segmenting your emails, you can actually go one step further and identify, different segments of your email list and then strategically send them videos that you have created that might even be older than the most recent that might align with their needs. And in my experience, my email list really enjoys seeing videos. That's where they primarily consume my content. And so having an email that reminds them that there's a new video out actually keeps our engagement with our content pretty high. But what if one video could become 5 or 10 different pieces of content? That's exactly what method 8 allows. So method 8 is repurposing content. Now I know this isn't all that new, but people obviously overlook it. So I transform every video into multiple formats. These are short clips. They could be quotes, carousels, podcast episodes. They might even lead to new training ideas, articles. One 15-minute video can become content across all of the platforms that you're looking to be on. And here's what few people realize is repurposing often drives people back to that original video, boosting its performance and making it that much more effective. So this extensive content library opens up another opportunity most creators are missing. Number 9 is lead magnets. I package related videos into valuable lead magnets. Instead of creating new content for opt-ins, I curate existing videos into specialized collections. I've actually taken multiple videos that I've done on YouTube and turned them into an ebook that has been an opt-in. I've taken 3 to 4 videos that I've created and turned them into a $7 book that I then cleaned up and organized. It wasn't just, take the transcription and copy paste, but the content already exists. So you have way more to work with if you've been consistently producing videos like I have. And oftentimes, you'll have the audience member that doesn't like to watch videos. They'd rather listen. So you can be shifting the format of each of these videos into other ways of consumption. With these assets working for you, you can actually start putting money behind them, which is method number 10, strategic ad campaigns. If you start getting a ton of engagement on some of that short form repurposed content and or even some of your longer form videos, sometimes those could be completely flipped into paid advertising that you can use to drive more audience growth and or in retargeting campaigns. Oftentimes, if you have a video that jumps off because of a topic like, say, sales, and your audience loves sales content, you can then take pieces of that video, go record them as intentional short form reels, and then go on Instagram and boost those reels to get in front of new people. In today's world where growing your audience requires kind of creating content consistently and getting in front of new eyeballs and bringing them into your world, short form content does a really great job of that. And so being able to put some ad dollars behind high value, content that exposes new people to the way you operate, the way you believe in solving their problems will bring new eyeballs and people into your world every single day. So as your content's getting more and more views, it actually is going to open up doors to other opportunities, which brings me to opportunity number 11, and that's speaking engagement credibility. Back in the day, I was speaking about mobile marketing a ton, and there weren't a ton of people talking about it. And I was able to have event organizers look at some of my content and say, hey, look, this is a topic that your audience is asking about and you don't have anyone to talk about it. Here's like 10 videos that show that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this topic. Would it be beneficial for me to come to your event and maybe get on stage? And I spoke at Social Media Marketing World multiple times. I spoke at New Media Expo when that still existed. I've spoken in the Philippines at boutique events held by Chris Ducker. I spoke in the UK. So many of my speaking opportunities actually came from the fact that I have a track record of talking about these things with people that are tuning in. So don't overlook the fact that your content actually can be leveraged to get you into other opportunities like speaking on stages and in front of event organizers. But what if your videos could actually become an entirely new product? That's actually what method 12 allows. Number 12 is book creation from video topics. I kind of hinted at this earlier, but I organize my video topics into a book. I'm actually working on a large book at the moment, but I took a couple of my key videos, my core methodologies and frameworks, and put them into a $7 book. We are now selling 10 to 20 of those books every single day. We're running ads to buy the book. And that book technically has been there for years. It's just been inside of my video content. And so you can repurpose that content into a book or a low ticket course and then go sell it. So there's also product opportunity. And the best part is, again, I didn't have to write necessarily a single word because I've spoken all of the words already in my videos. So yes, I needed to edit and restructure some things a little bit, but most of the heavy lifting was done because I had been creating videos. And finally, one of the most overlooked benefits that dramatically changed my business is talent recruitment. I use videos to not only attract customers, but also to attract the ideal team members to work with us. And so when we go through the hiring process, being able to have people consume our videos and understand what our business does and how it operates has always brought some of the best candidates to the table. And in these interviews, when our candidates are actually referencing the videos that we have, we know that they're jiving with our content and or they're doing the extra work to kind of get the job. And so there's certain videos that we can send inside of the hiring process and or even in the onboarding process to acclimate and to onboard these people into working with us more effectively. On top of all that, if they consume enough of your content, they're going to come way more pre-aligned with your values and your methodologies and your approach, which again, always makes onboarding way more smooth. Now, it's important to remember that YouTube isn't just a platform, right? Again, I started just hosting videos there for free, but it's actually a revenue engine for your entire business. So if you want to make sure that your business is optimized to benefit from this engine, then go ahead and watch this video right now.